The following program is hosted by immature, irreverent, obnoxious, and often disgusting young men. Listener discretion is advised.
This time on Nude Clan, Final Fantasy X-3.
Shall we play a game?
Welcome to another episode of Nude Clan, the video game podcast. We're soon
screeching.
We won't have an autistic screech in the background.
No. I was thinking we just need to take a sound bite, and that's part of our opening from now on. It's just
like the scream,
the goat scream in the background.
Yeah, we got to do. We got to have the. We got to like right as the last note is played, we have to start introing the show so that we can add the little. Right
I think
after that point.
actually instead of his scream, I'm just gonna go grab that one goat scream I'm thinking about and just cut it in. I think that'll be great.
That goat you have a goat scream.
Oh yeah,
there's in the back of your mind.
Oh yeah, everyone knows.
Why does goat scream sound gross?
Why do you sound like a goat when you scream?
Do I sound like a goat when I scream?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I can pull it up for later, but yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, today we're reviewing I Am Setsuna. I am surprised Cameron beat it.
Why?
Because you started it this week.
Yeah.
Well, it didn't necessarily have to take
It did not necessarily
like a month and a half like you've been doing.
I didn't even get the platinum.
I can wait for my opinion on that for the review, but
waste of time. It also does the Switch version tell you how long you played?
I don't think so.
Yeah, it's bullshit, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, you're like, how close am I? I was like, I don't fucking know.
Nope.
I did a lot of stuff on the side. The guide says you're pretty close, but I don't know. Depends on you.
I mean, I have an opinion on the story that we'll probably just wait for the review.
Yeah, so we both finished it. I finished it a few weeks back, and... Yeah,
I finished it last night.
That's what we're going to knock out. So it's fresh in your mind. But anyway, before we dive into that review, what has everyone been playing this week?
Well, Schweiss, I opened up and saw the opening cutscene to Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles. The crystal shit. Oh, fuck. Which one is it? I don't actually know the name of the game.
I don't either.
Is it one on the Wii?
I think it might be Crystal Bearers.
No, Bearers is the Wii one.
Okay, then it's not Crystal Bearers.
The blonde kid that looks like Ezreal from...
So you're doing the DS ones?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're doing all of them.
Well, I know. I just was...
in the order that they came out.
Okay.
Something. I the second Crystal Chronicles game. And, found out that the multiplayer and the single player are two separate entities, and so we will now, I guess, be playing the single-player version of that game, so there's that little bit of disappointment in my mind, but it should be a little faster to beat the game than it was for Crystal Chronicles, which, of course, me and Schweiss, in order to do that for UFF, I think it took us 6 weeks to beat the 22-hour game, Crystal Chronicles.
Yeah,
so
it's kind of sad.
Super sad, but that's the only video gaming I've been doing. Just fucking getting plowed.
Opening that game.
4th of July sales have been fucking screwing me at FedEx, man. It's just been super busy, and it's been as busy as it was at Christmas. And I'm getting real mad. I almost quit the other day. I almost told my boss, I'm like, look, I can't do this. I can't. I got shit to do, but I need the money. That's the problem.
That is the problem. Is you just need the money.
Prime Days is either here or soon. So
why don't you do the thing you were planning on, becoming a night shift work at it? You know, some motel hotel.
Some motel hotel, Holiday Inn. No.
He wants money,
Not right now.
chump change.
Not right now. Just
Money
finish out.
and the ability to
I told my boss
work
I was
on
done
whatever
on
he wants.
August 11th, so I'll keep to that. But in the meantime, I'm going to be an angry, fat redhead scorching in the sun, wanting to murder everyone I see.
I don't.
Get
And
some
every
sunscreen.
fat piece of shit that tells me to stop speeding when I'm under the speed limit. Because look, FedEx trucks are big, so they look like they're going faster than they really are. I'm in the speed limit. It's 25 or under for a residential zone, unless otherwise posted. I am going 23, you fucking bitch.
You want to get some clarification on this?
Is that the same
'Cause-
person?
No, there's always someone. There's always someone telling me to slow down. Like
Just flip
every
him
day.
off. Just be like, fuck you.
And this is what I do. I point at my dashboard and I go 2, 5. I do 2 fingers and then 5.
And that you should do the middle finger right after.
Yeah, that's what I do because I'm like, I'm not fucking speeding. I'm not arguing with you right now.
What's that number on the back
not
of the
doing
truck
that.
says "Rate my driving"?
I don't give a shit. You know what happened last time someone called in? My boss goes, "Yeah, someone called, said you were speeding. Were you speeding?" I was like, "No." Oh, okay. And you know
These
what?
People like retarded.
I've been with my boss. Well, you can't tell how fast a vehicle is going. When a vehicle is big and it's going 25, it looks like it's going faster. That's all. That's the only thing I could think of for why the fuck I'm getting flagged all the time for speeding when I'm not. I'm not a speeder. First, the other thing about this fucking truck I'm in is that it's hard to speed. This truck does not like to go fast. It doesn't. It takes like, in order to get to 35 miles an hour, it takes like a minute and a half. It feels like. So I'm not speeding. I know I'm not speeding. I'm getting yelled at for speeding. So you people who are like flagging down your FedEx trucks, fuck you. Just fuck you.
I'm just reminded of the giant hill in Lehigh that I would end up going like 70 down. And it was
big truck.
residential-ish.
I have sped before. I'm not saying that, but oddly enough, when I have been yelled at, I have not been speeding,
Yeah.
which is driving me nuts. I have no idea what to say to these people. Like, they want me to go 10 miles an hour? No. I got shit to do, and it's already going to take me 12 hours. Fuck you.
Well, the dumb thing is I can usually tell when someone's speeding. Because it's like, oh, I think I have time. And then suddenly they're right on my ass, and then they're like honking at me, and I'm like, maybe you shouldn't have been speeding. Maybe you should slow down. I'm sure I pulled out in front of you, but you were going 40, so fuck you.
I don't know what to do about it. It's driving me nuts. But
Well, soon you won't do anything about it, because you won't have to worry about it.
I don't know a good way to convey to these people that they should fuck off without getting fired by saying fuck off. Anyway,
Just put on, like, the guy next over's, like, plates. Just trade them out, and then, like,
Isn't
tell
it?
him to
Don't they
fuck off.
do it off of truck numbers?
no, they'll know what area
Yeah.
I'm in. They'll say they saw a FedEx truck. There's like one of 3 choices there on who's over in that area. So
Just make sure it's one of those guys, then, that you take.
they speed. I've ridden with other drivers and they always speed. That's probably why they get home faster than I do. I do not speed. I don't speed. If I'm speeding, it's like 5 over. It's
Maybe you
not,
should do that more. I mean, if you're getting blamed
Yeah.
for it anyway, why not just do it?
If I'm getting blamed for it anyway, why not just do it? That's
Yeah.
good. That's a good point.
And they get home sooner.
But the other reason I don't speed is that there are a bunch of cops that like to hang out in a lot of the streets I'm driving.
Look, man,
in,
if I
so.
got framed for murdering somebody and I spent like 20 years in prison, the first thing I would do when I got out is kill that person. I would walk up to them in the street and I would just...
You just say, I didn't do it, but now I'm going to.
Yeah, but I paid the price, so I'm going to blow your fucking brains out.
There you go. That's a good idea.
I would do it. I'd be like, I paid this forward, man. I paid for it before I even got the merchandise.
All right. What have you been playing, Craig?
Assassin's Creed Origins is pretty much the only thing that I played this week. So yeah,
Is it
That's
good?
you know what? It is. It's probably my second favorite of the Assassin's Creeds, and I played all of them except for Rogue, Unity, and Syndicate. So it's a pretty good one. I do like the RPG element of it, but I don't like that enemies that are 2 to 3 levels above you will fuck you in the ass, because it's bullshit. There's like a serious scaling problem in that game. Like, unless you're within, like, literally one level of the enemy, it will destroy you.
That's weird.
They can 2 to 1 shot you if they're, like, even 2 levels above
They can
you.
2 to 1 shot you?
Yeah, which means they can hit you twice or hit you once, and then you're dead.
2 to 1 shot you.
Yes, 2 to 1.
So you didn't just like stutter
It
in
goes
some
down.
fucking weird
No,
way?
No, he said
No.
tuta, in Utah fashion.
Did a 1 shot you.
Yeah,
Did a 1 shot.
yeah, yeah.
Arr.
It's fucking bullshit.
So Talman saved the day. Then is that what
He
you're telling
did.
me?
He did save the day. And you know what? It starts they're like they found the order of the assassins right in this one, but at the end, like seriously, the last 3 hours they go crazy saying the word creed. Fucking crazy. They're like, it will be a new creed. We have a new creed. There's a new creed.
It's
And I
almost
was like, my God, how many times do you have to fucking say creed? We get it. It's called Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, yeah, it's
They
like-
didn't
It's almost
say
like-
assassin at all, but they
Ain't
said
so
creed like 40 times.
It's like Bloodborne, and they just have to say blood every few times in a sentence.
oh, it's not the same thing. It's fucking ridiculous. It's
To me,
like,
it sounds like when
6 feet and so far down.
I think to me it sounds like when Joe like hears a new word and he likes to use it for like 2 or 3 days afterwards. That's what it sounds like. It's
That
like
is-
you're really digging into there.
That is true.
That's like the memorization process. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
that is a boon.
Dude, it keeps you in the vocabulary. I say totally wrong. Oh my God. It keeps you in the vocabulary.
Yeah,
That's
you
what I
are
said.
part of the language.
Are you in the vocabulary?
You're in it.
Are you in it? 'Cause you gotta be in it. Are you in?
But yeah, it's a good one. It's just the fucking the where it started going Creed heavy. Just I was like, oh my God, it's too much. And then he's like, he wears like a hawk's skull because like it was like the necklace of his kid, and he like takes it and he like throws it to the ground, and he's like, I'm no longer a father, I'm no longer a husband, I am now a hidden one. And then he like walks off, and then his wife picks it up, and there's the symbol of the assassins, and I was like, my God, it's like every part of this is just too much. So yeah, but it is a good game.
It's a good game.
It's a good game.
GG.
Yeah.
Okay. Cameron?
Okay. Everyone else's mic sound okay. I'm getting a lot of hiss in the background.
There's
And then my
just
voice
a lot
sounded a
of,
little tinny to start out with. I mean, it's better now, but when we first started, it sounded like I was talking through like a piece of paper or something like that.
Nothing's changed.
Okay. Well, anyways, I've been playing I Am Setsuna, the game, Joe. I am not Setsuna.
Wait, there's a sequel called I Am Not Setsuna? The game?
The sequel's
I'm
actually
no-
called Lost Sphere.
It's. I thought it was I Am No Longer Setsuna.
Yeah, Setsuna no more.
Setsuna no more. And then I just played a lot of Overwatch last night after I beat it, so it's pretty much it.
That was your week.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
How
Played
many
one day.
hours?
I don't know. I wouldn't be able to say. The game doesn't track it. But if I
Can
were
you
to
guess?
give my personal opinion, I'd say I would have hit around the 20-hour mark. Either a little below or a little above.
How many
20
hours
seemed accurate.
you put into it? Schweiss?
Probably like 40-ish.
40 hours?
Yeah.
You were trying to platinum it, though.
Yeah.
Are you still going to try?
I'll pick it back up later, but there's a lot of there. So the system, it has a system in it where you can like attach certain buffs to certain items, and it's very in depth. And I just did not want to deal with it to beat the final.
Yeah, I looked at some of those
optional bosses.
buffs, and some people, like even people online, don't quite know what some of them do.
Yeah.
They can say like they kind of do this, but we're not 100% sure on that. So we can talk about that later.
Okay.
Yeah. I have been playing a shitload of Call of Duty Classic this week, and here's the reason why. I
thought you were playing
borrowed
Medal of Honor.
I borrowed Medal of Honor from Jake to play Medal of Honor Frontline because I was looking at my trophies, and that one was from a long time ago because I played Cody's version of Medal of Honor, the reboot, and I played that through, and I was like, hey, there's a he was like, hey, there's a download for Medal of Honor Frontline if you want to do it. It's a remaster. Looks like shit, by the way. Like, it looks like dog shit. some of the people's faces, like, it looks like I'm going to war with like 80-year-old men. Like, they're fucking ancient looking. Like, they have weird like alien jaw lines. Like, it's like this weird like puffy cheek, and then like it's just a chin that's like 4 inches in from the cheekbone. Like, they look freaky. It looks like shit. Mostly your allies, but most of those guys die anyway, so it doesn't matter. And I was like, you know what? The trophies are looking kind of sad on this game, so I'm going to pick this up. And then I looked online, and I was looking at like trophy guides, and like, here's what they recommend. And people online were like, they were telling me that the fucking game is harder. That Medal of Honor Frontline on hard is harder than Call of Duty Classic on Veteran. And I was
That
like,
is horseshit.
I was like,
That is
dude,
horseshit. And there's like almost nothing that's harder than that game.
I was like, no fucking way. But like, it was just over and over. And then I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna have to beat Call of Duty Classic on Veteran first, just to prepare myself mentally for the road ahead. And it was sick. It was fucking ridiculous. Like, it was unholy. And yeah, I had to beat it. And so I was halfway through. I was on this level, and here's what pisses me off about this game. There's a fucking level in there where you're going on a boat. It's like the undercover level where you're infiltrating the Germans. And I'm with this guy, and his name is Captain Price, and he is the most British-looking motherfucker on the planet. Like, he's got this massive mustache. It's huge. And like, everybody else is this clean-shaven Nazi soldier, and they just let him on the boat. They just let him on. They're like, oh, welcome. I'm like, look at this guy. And then later, like, in the mission, he dies, and they're like, he was a good man. I'm like, I'm surprised he made it up, like, anywhere near the boat. They're like, why is that British guy coming on? And then when we get, like, discovered, all the Germans are, like, calling us British. I'm like, you see what you did? Like, they did. How do they know we're British? It's because of this guy. It's because of this guy's fucking mustache. He's got his, like, corn cob pipe in his fucking back pocket, too. It's ridiculous. Like, that and the enemies snapping to you. Like, it's the most difficult thing I've probably ever done.
Gave you away.
Excuse me. And then I had to beat it again on Hardened, which is the second hardest difficulty, which sometimes was worse. Because, like, I would get to a checkpoint that I was so used to, like, everything in veteran mode, because I had played it 1,000 times at that point, and, like, suddenly there were, like, 50 enemies instead of 6. And there was a part, the game gave me an opportunity to go Joe Core, and I did, and then it proceeded to fuck me for doing it, because there's, like, a part where
That happens.
it's Pavlov's house. It's, like, this Russian, like, 4-story apartment
Is
building.
there a bunch of dogs running around?
Yeah.
They ring some bells, and they just went crazy.
Yeah, it's named after the sergeant that, like, held it off, and they held it off for, like, weeks on end against the Germans, and, like, tanks would come by, and they would just, like, fuck the tank up when it drove overhead, and they held it for, like, ever. Until they got, like, people, like, back up, basically, and then they all left. And it's that mission, but the problem is like, all my teammates just get fucking annihilated, because it's, like, this endless wave of Germans just storming the house. And then I'm the only one left, and I hid in this bathroom, and, like, no one could find me. Like, they were all, like, fucking...
Why did you hide in the attic?
They were... seriously. They were all, like, too stupid to come into that room, so I was like, sweet, I'm just gonna hide in here, you know? And I got down to 2 minutes, I got a checkpoint, and then, like, a minute, it would get to, like, a minute, and I'd hear the tank, just, like, the wheels of the tank just, like, crack up, and it's like... And then at 45 seconds, every single time at 45 seconds, the tank would shoot the building, and I would die. And, like, I had, like, not much health left, right? So I tried it multiple times. I tried getting in the bathtub that was next to me. Nothing would save me. So I ended up having to, like, run out of the
prone
room.
in the bathtub?
I did, yeah. The problem, though, is that when I go into the bathtub, it triggers the guys, and they fucking come in the room, but, like, in groups of 6. And I can't stop it. So what I ended up doing is, like, grabbing a grenade, cooking it for a second, and then, like, throwing it down the hallway where all the dudes were at, and then jumping down and, like, going down into the basement of the building, and then just, like, shooting a couple dudes down there, and then running outside, like, into this little ditch area, and just fucking slaughtering every bastard that came up to me. And they all know where I'm at. And at the end of the level, it's like, okay, now you have to eliminate all 17 people that are left, and they just fucking jump into that trench, and they just... fucking solo running at me, and I have no ammo left. Like, it's nightmarish. But the Joe Core thing, like the game fucked me for being Joe-ish. It's like, you can sit there if you want, but we're gonna shoot this building even though no one knows where you're at.
Were after you.
The Nazis don't like you because you're being Jewish.
Yeah, yeah. We must eliminate the Joes. But yeah, I played a bunch of that, and when I finally beat it, I kicked up Medal of Honor Frontline, and I've been going through that. I'm like, I think I have like 5 missions left or 6, something like that.
How does it compare to the veteran of Call of Duty Classic?
Oh, I'm only playing it on easy.
Oh,
because there is a trophy.
That was on easy?
No, that was veteran on COD.
Oh, okay.
Classic though, you have to beat 3 times to platinum it because the trophies don't stack.
yeah,
so when you beat it on veteran,
normal, veteran, and hardened.
yeah.
And
So like
it's
beating it on
fucking
veteran doesn't give
disgusting.
you the trophy for beating it on the lesser difficulty. So I had to do it 3 times over the years, and I know that game like I should never know anything. It's
How long has it
memorized.
taken you?
I started it.
This has
first-
been a long going project. For
I
you.
first played it in 2010, so
8 years.
it's an 8-year platinum, and I beat it. I think in 2010. I'm pretty sure I beat it like later after I got it,
Jesus.
and then I beat it again. Oh no, you know what? The next 2 playthroughs have been in the last like 4 days.
Oh
So I
really?
finished the second half. Yeah.
Ah, I thought you were playing that.
Oh, I was. I
Intermittently.
never got any further. It was that boat mission with the mustached man. That's why I came up with this. Like, why is it so fucking?
Price.
Yeah, I'm like, why has this guy even like ever been able to be undercover? It's because I would go out of the
know.
room and there's a guy up on top of the, like on a high point, and he has a car 98, and he has like a 50% chance to just one shot me, and without me even getting any opportunity to do anything. So my tactic was kill the 2 guys that come like running into my line of sight, and then just run out of the building. And if I make it, I make it. If I don't, I restart. And most of the time, I would restart. Like, it was sick. And then I would also have to deal with like guys coming out of the side of the boat to the left of me, and there was dudes on the right shooting at me endlessly that sometimes would kill me, sometimes wouldn't. So like, it's like I'm gambling with loaded dice. They're loaded to make me fucking lose. And that mission on Harden was still fucking bullshit. It still took me like 30 minutes because I kept dying in the same spot. It was sick. It was fucked up.
This is something
dude.
I just wouldn't do. I just wouldn't do it.
That game is fucked up. Like,
It's insanely hard.
Yeah, there's a fucking I can't remember which part it was, but like there's seriously a part where you like walk around a corner and there's a dude in a tank in a minigun that's just waiting for you, and I would poke my gun out. I poked my fucking gun out, right, like behind out the wall, you know, and then just fucking like the tip of my gun gets fucking shot at by the fucking minigun.
I know, it's like they're in a war and they're expecting enemies to come around the corner at every fucking second. It's bullshit.
I know.
Have a little decency. You're like, wait to see what's
fucking
coming.
It's fucking ridiculous.
What if I was an ally?
They have so much ammo to waste. That's
Yeah.
the ridiculous thing.
Oh man, and there was another part where I got a checkpoint as the guy was fucking shooting me, so I like died later, and I came back to the checkpoint, and like it was like 10 times of me just dying and like trying to get like
man, I
exactly
hate
how I can get this guy dead before he fucking slaughters me. And I'm like, I don't want to start this mission over because this mission's been really hard. But now I'm at a checkpoint where a guy's already shooting at me as I load the fucking game up. Like, Jesus. I just had to like lay down really fast and just spray and hope I killed his ass before he like laid waste.
That happens to me with Bethesda. When you go through a door and the game autosaves as you go through the door, and you're insta-fucked by whatever is behind that door. So you just keep reloading it over and over again. You're trying different things. But most of the time, it's just because Bethesda puts out these games where they bug out all the time. So by the 5th time or 6th time, the enemy's actually
Something will
changing
go
what
wrong,
they're
yeah.
changing what they're doing, even though it's the same thing every fucking time they're loading in. But it's just enough different every time that you can get out eventually.
Yeah, that's kind of how it was, except for it was like
Except for you, they don't change. It's
I have
the
like
same
a
thing every time.
5% chance
You
for him
remember
to
that-
not end me.
You remember that fucking level where you have to be like on the Jeep as it's like driving through and all you have is a fucking gun? Like the pistol, like the fucking pistol,
Yeah,
and you
I
can't
remember.
control the fucking Jeep at all. I know how it sounded, Joe.
Okay,
You
all
fucking
right.
asshole. But
You laughed harder than I did.
all you have is a fucking like pea shooter, and you have to like defend yourself in a fucking Jeep, and you can't control shit. You can't control anything other than.
war, and all I have is a fucking gun.
I need more than just a gun, okay?
You do have a machine
Yeah, at least
gun,
you need a rocket
and you do
launcher.
have rocket launchers. But that mission, I was stuck on that for
All
a
you
very
have
long
is a
time.
That fucking level is a fucking RNG fuck fest of whether or not somebody's gonna snipe you in the face every 2 seconds.
Yeah, it is. And then the game, they don't care about their safety. Like, there's a guy in that level who he has a rocket launcher, and he's looking at you with it for like 5 seconds, and then he just shoots it. He's right next to you. I'm like,
they'll shoot the ground to kill you because they know that if you die, it's all over.
Medal of Honor does that too. Like, there's like a Panzerfaust group, right? A group of dudes that kill like tanks,
Yeah.
which is retarded because we don't have any fucking tanks in this mission. I'm like, you guys are the ones with the tanks. What are you, like, arming me to kill your own tanks? Fucking
Yes.
idiots. And so I kill them, right? And then, like, I'm reading the little walkthrough, and it's like, make sure you take your time in this level because the enemies don't always spawn right away. And, like, if you go too fast, like, it won't trigger certain spawns. I was like, all right, I'll backtrack a little bit. And then I backtrack. I jump over this wall, and they're all alive again. And there are 4 of them, and they just turn around as one, and they have their little rockets. I'm like, fuck! So I do like a quick jump, and they almost annihilate me, but they kill themselves. Like, I didn't even kill them the first time. Like, they blew themselves to pieces, like, trying to kill me and other people. They just, like, see me, and they shoot the wall right next to them to try to kill me, even though I'm not right there. So, like, AI is just fucking stupid. And it's annoying when they're, like, kamikaze. So I'm like, this is not fighting the Japanese.
Well, if you're
here.
dying, I don't think they're that stupid.
I guess that's fair. If it
Yeah.
takes 4 people to kill themselves to take me out, it's worth it because then they get to be alive again.
That's right.
But God, dude,
They
yeah,
get to live again in the restart.
they do. Yeah, they do. But it's been rough. It's been rough, especially COD. So
All right.
those are the 2.
Well, we all know what we've been playing, but has anybody beaten a game? Bro.
Yeah, I beat Assassin's Creed Origins.
Assassins. Should I put Assassins?
Just put AC Origins.
Okay, that's better because I can't remember how to spell Assassins.
Ass-ins.
Ass-ins.
Yeah.
Do you remember that Hot Shots movie?
Yeah.
They like start on the military thing. They're like, he went in and go assassin, and like the guy can't spell assassinate. He keeps on like trying it, and then he just erases it and then puts kill a guy. Cameron?
I beat I Am Setsuna, but you have to write it like this on the paper.
He has to write it in
Kanji.
fucking kanji.
Yep.
No, I'm good. That'll take too long.
He was Setsuna.
And I'm just going to call it I'm Setsuna instead of I am. Schweiss?
I beat Call of Duty Classic.
COD Classic.
Yep. It's bullshit. But it does have a Snap 2 feature, which Medal of Honor does not.
Didn't you also beat another game?
No. I don't think so.
Well, I beat Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles.
Didn't we put that on there already?
Nope.
Oh, shit, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I guess I beat that too. I
There
thought
you
we
go.
had that on
It's
there
too
already.
late. You didn't say it, dude.
Yeah, it's too late.
Wow.
When did you guys beat that? Was it this week?
Yeah, it was like
yeah,
Monday.
it was Monday.
Oh.
There you go. Okay, so you guys are one apart now. How do you feel?
Feel like I'm going to catch up real soon.
How do you know? He's hiding his trophies.
No, he's
No,
not.
I'm not.
Oh, you stop hiding your trophies?
Yeah. There was no point. It was
Craig.
hiding him from Schweiss to, like...
The plot thickens, Craig. Now that you
Does
were
it?
called out on it, and you're like, well,
Well, the whole point was to fucking, like, beat a shitload of games without Schweiss noticing, and then he fucking, of course, notices because it's like, I can't see Craig's trophies. What the fuck?
you know what? I can see Craig's trophies. I'm just going to log in as Craig.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
exactly what he did. 'Cause
We'll
he's a piece
see.
of shit.
2 can play at this game. Stealth Boy. I'll infiltrate the Craig.
Well, Stealth Boy is in first place with 17 games beaten so far this year. Caleb Schweiss is at 16 games. I am at 11 games, and Cameron Wilson is at 9 games beaten so far. So this is not as impressive as last year.
No.
I'll be honest here.
Is it impressive? Because like every time we had like a lot of games, you were disgusted.
I am disgusted.
So it's like, is it
and
between
disappointed.
disgust and like impressiveness? Like what is this?
Yeah, it's somewhere in between that.
In between? Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, that's where we're at for the hog status. Did we get any questions?
Yeah, we have a couple questions.
Okay.
Oh, also, Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus, is going to be our next game.
That was a
review.
close vote.
Yeah, it was.
It was really
fucking
close.
crazy.
And it's usually not close at all. It's usually one game dominating, and then
they
the other
were
games
within like a few votes of each other. Like I think Vampire was the second one with 34, and then they had what was yours?
Far Cry 5.
Far Cry 5. It was like the next highest. It was it was 32%. I think. For
Yeah.
that one.
Yeah.
And then Wolfenstein won by like
Would
1%.
Would you vote for?
I went with Vampire.
I voted for Wolfenstein.
Yeah, me too.
Didn't even vote for your own game.
No,
Piece of shit.
I just threw it up there because I had to throw a game up. But
What was your game again?
Far Cry 5.
Oh, that's the one I voted for.
Just more of the more of the same game. Yeah.
I thought about it, and it was like it was a $60 game, a $20 game, and then a $no game for me.
Yeah, if I were you, I would have voted for the one I already beat, probably.
I went with Vampire, the $60 game, but lucked out.
Yeah.
What are our questions?
All right, first one is from Shinru. He says, are you guys going to get this as a perfect birthday present for Joe? And it is a Armored Core 20-disc original soundtrack from the background music.
For which one?
For all of them, the entire
wow.
series.
Oh my god!
And it comes out on November 1st.
Wiener,
Yep.
wiener, wiener, wiener,
Now in
wiener,
full
wiener,
orchestra.
Wiener, 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 wiener. I would prefer not to get that.
Yeah, you don't want...
It would be a giant waste of money. I will never listen to it.
You don't want 20 discs
Well, the
of
thing is,
Armored Core music?
You would only be able to hog it as one.
It's
Unless
true.
it was like
it's fucking 20
specific-
discs. So
Unless it
that
was
would
like
be...
specifically divvied out per game, and then you could
It
do
probably is divvied out per
Then I guess you
game.
could get some hog points out of it
Yeah,
Yeah.
you could. You could.
if you wanted to.
No thanks.
It would only be like 6 points, though.
I don't think any of us are that willing to do that either.
How much is it?
I have no idea.
It doesn't
Oh,
matter.
okay.
It's going to be at least $50, which is way too much. Way too much for a gag gift. That honestly, the soundtrack has some pretty awful moments, but there are worse soundtracks.
Are the games brand new even worth $50?
Probably not. They
that
probably
they're
come out
based
at
on?
20.
Yeah.
Come out at $20, and they're lucky to break even.
Wiener, wiener, wiener. They
right.
must be successful. They kept making them.
That's true. Yeah. Aren't they going to make another one too?
I don't know, because they're doing a bunch of like Souls games. So the next one they're making is like that one Japanese one. I can't remember what it is.
More
Yeah, the
Souls
one that doesn't
games.
look as cool as the Sony one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next question is from A4 Extreme. He says, this might have been answered before, but what are the rules for beating an arcade-style game that doesn't have a standard ending? I recently picked up the NES Classic, and there are a lot of games on there like Donkey Kong, Pac-Man, Galaga. What are the rules for beating these kinds of games so I can add them to the hog? Or do I need to reach a kill screen of some sort, or are they just doomed to never grace my list?
I think we did say in year one they're just doomed to never grace the list.
Did
I
we?
don't remember that.
I thought so.
I think we touched on the subject, but maybe
I think
we
it's
said something
I think
to
it's
the effect.
fine if you feel like you know the game. Because like if I were to look at a list of like best games ever, I would count Pac-Man as beaten right now. Because I've played enough Pac-Man that I know.
We should see
Pac-Man.
what the highest level
It's the
someone's
game that you've
achieved.
played versus the game that
there-
you've beaten.
The highest
There
level
is
someone
no
has
beating
achieved,
it,
and then
though,
you
so it's
have
by
to beat
design.
that.
Well, for Pac-Man, there is a highest level, and it just kills the game. That's the kill screen. So,
Do all arcade games have that?
not all of them. Well, actually, they might.
Doesn't Frogger just like keep getting worse and worse?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, I mean,
Frogger's an asshole.
And you're telling me there's no end to Donkey Kong.
I don't think so.
You don't ever reach that princess?
I mean, you do, but then like it keeps going with new levels. I'm pretty sure.
Maybe you'll find a canonical ending. Like, how many balls does Miss Pac-Man actually eat? You know, or Mr. Pac-Man, depending on which one you're playing.
Yeah, we could do it by like game time. TrueHoax says Donkey Kong has a kill screen, so there is like a max level basically.
All right, maybe kill screen should be it then, because that's a pretty decent.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, but if you're
though.
playing on the NES Classic, you can just keep throwing coins in there, like for pretend.
It's 117 screens before an error happens and kills the game
For
for
Pac-Man?
Donkey Kong.
Oh.
So 117 levels basically of just pure hell.
Yeah, it just keeps going on that game. There's an error on Duck Hunt as well at level 100.
I say just go to the kill screen, yeah. I guess that's fine.
Go to the kill screen.
That's the end.
Without an emulator, that's going to be real tough. It's going to be real
Yeah,
tough.
if you actually have the arcade, you just have to keep pounding those quarters in. Although you get lives on
I
those,
think we
so-
said, because we were wondering if we could review games like that because we could never beat them, and we basically just said you go until you feel like you're good. But with beating it for the hog, I don't think so. I don't think that counts as a game beaten just to play a few levels of Pac-Man. I don't think so.
Well, I mean, we have different rules for different games. Like Overwatch doesn't have a specific story, so we're like, hey, just reach like level 100.
Yeah, so we just say prestige, and then
so
you're beaten. Tank counts as beaten.
Yeah, but we are talking about specifically games that just don't have a beaten. It just keeps going.
no, they don't have an end, so you can't. I mean, there should be.
How
a way
does
to
one
add.
complete what cannot be completed?
Yeah, you can't complete it. You
Kill
just
screen
can't complete
is
it.
what I would say. I think that's fair. Because that is the end. That's where you no longer can play the game in that current setting.
Sounds
if you
like
can't-
bullshit, but most of the games are bullshit, so...
If you can't beat it, if you can't get to the kill screen, then you didn't fucking beat it. Got to get better. You got to get good enough to.
It's some
You
fucking
gotta get better.
Intense thing right there.
How about a community high score page on the forum? Top 3 can count it.
You know, I like that
That's
idea.
what TrueHoax says
Little
in the chat.
competition going on in the forums.
That's funny.
Pixar didn't happen.
Yeah.
I don't know. How about send in some ideas, guys? Because I don't really have an answer to this.
Yeah, other than no, but that seems kind of unfair.
I don't think it is unfair.
I mean, there's like a game time thing. We could just
Just
be like,
because
if you
I played a
like
shitload
5
of-
hours of Pac-Man, there you go.
Just because I played like a shitload of multiplayer in Halo 2 doesn't mean I beat Halo 2. I can't, and that's just you can just keep going and
it's
it'll
a
never
different
end.
kind of game, though. That's the thing.
Well,
you can't
yeah.
just be like, oh, well, I
There are
played
just-
a shitload of
there are
multiplayer of
just
Halo
certain games
when
that don't
Halo
end.
has a fucking story.
Someone
mode.
brought up in the chat a great item. You don't beat arcade games; they beat you, and you get a score.
Yeah, that is true. Unless you do beat it and get the kill
So
screen.
you lose a
Unless
hog
you
when
literally
beat it.
Yeah,
kill
but that's
the game.
literally causing the game to error out. So every
I think-
time that Joe comes across a bug, does that mean he beats the game?
I think what he's trying to say is the game beats you, so when you play an arcade game and you lose a hog. So you have to erase
okay,
the
so
hog
arcades
off
are
your list for the
arcade games
year.
are different because they are literally made to see
Harvest
how far
money?
you can get.
No, they're made to harvest your funds, so they're supposed to be endless and
Well,
bullshit.
no, you're supposed to like try and see how far you can get before you die. That it's literally that way.
Well, that's
it's like,
why you play them. But
It's like the
reason
old
they
school.
exist,
It's like the old school zombies. Like before they started adding weird story elements to it.
you just do it for
It's
a
like
hog.
you just go
Basically,
until
yeah.
see how far you can get in the fucking zombies level. That's just what it is.
about level 27, from what I remember. And then you're
I
dead.
think 27 was our cap.
Was it our count? That was
No.
where the,
Did
the
we get
dome
to
side-
29 on
I thought-
Derise?
I thought we got on 30 on
Maybe.
on Totno Derise.
I don't know.
You could just say level 20,
it's 29
screen
or
20,
30.
20 hours. Pick one. I don't know. I don't know how to answer that. I think maybe play games that can be beaten for the hog, and play arcade games just for fun.
Also,
you can
I
have
would
fun
say
here.
for anyone that like, let's say you had 14 and you played FF14, I would say if you beat an expansion, I would count the game beaten again. Only once though per
I'll
year.
count the expansion beaten.
Yeah, so like when we played FF14, we hogged 14, and then we didn't hog the expansion that year. But if we come back for the next expansion, like, we're going to count that.
Okay.
Because it's like you played the campaign in that MMO that year. It's the new campaign. I think it should count.
I'm timidly okay with that one.
That's, I don't know, because then you got games like Neverwinter, which is an MMO that has like free updates and like they add campaigns.
Yeah.
So would you count one of the random campaigns that you can just do
Well,
as a new game?
Why do we
beaten
live in a
every
world
time?
where it has to count?
Yeah, you just play it for fun, right? No, what I'm saying is that you can count Neverwinter once a year. So, like, if you play an expansion to Neverwinter in January, you can hog Neverwinter, but you can't hog Neverwinter 7 times in January because of the 7 campaigns you played.
But it's different campaigns.
It doesn't matter. That's why that's where you cut the
But
MMOs off.
But then
at the
you
knees.
also said the expansions.
No, I'm saying, like, if I beat a new expansion in 14, I can count that expansion. But that's it. If another one comes out, I don't count that one, too.
Okay.
You only count one a year.
Okay.
I think that would be a fair way to...
That's better, because I thought you were counting, like you were saying, count it every time you beat a new expansion. I was like,
The shitty thing is it kind of feels like you should because they're big, but it wouldn't work for all games. So, yeah.
Would that work for like Witcher 3 then, where the 2 like expansions are 10 to 20 hours each?
No, because it's not an MMO. It's
You know what? We should just have a per game basis. That's all it should be. So we have our normal get to credits, and then if you need extra guidance, you can ask us per game, and we'll just someone make a fucking wiki thing that has the fucking list
The rulings
of the rulings for different games. Because I don't know.
Article 1,
Otherwise,
Section 3.
I say just don't make it count, because I don't want to. I wouldn't want to get bogged down in like, Article 1, Section 3, Amendment A. I don't want to do that shit. I don't think you guys want to either, frankly.
Not really. I
Yeah.
want it to be easy.
Yeah.
The one thing we
And
could
the easy
do...
thing is just enjoy Tetris, enjoy Donkey Kong, and that's it. And you don't hog it.
Yeah, I think we could do something for DLC, but we'd have to do it as a separate thing.
Yeah.
And we've not agreed on that for the last 2 years.
No.
So if it's going to happen, that's probably the only way it will happen, and we can't agree on it. So maybe once Joe's gone,
Yeah, once
Maybe.
Joe's gone, maybe you can agree.
but I don't know.
But until then, I'm gonna be the senator from the other side of the aisle here, or whatever that is. So got to keep it centrist somehow. We got to have a compromise till I leave, and then you guys can fuck up everything I ever worked to achieve here. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's totally your show. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah.
Cameron's nodding yes.
You're just happy that
No
he's
comment.
leaving, aren't you?
No comment. Fine. Fuck off. I don't have to be here while you guys fucking review Setsuna. Fuck outta here.
You weren't planning on being here anyway if we did it yesterday.
Yeah, that's what I would do. TrueHoax DLC is worth way less.
Yeah, they would
I
be.
don't know. I mean, unless it's like a whole new camp. I mean,
But what about
They-
DLCs
they-
where you just get costumes? That's the
No.
stupid question we're going to get. We're going to get that question.
No, we'd have to set like a limit to being like it has to be an actual expansion and not just like a DLC.
Yeah,
A
like
campaign
story
Because
expansion.
because Diablo has one that's like an entire extra chapter that adds like 4 hours of gameplay, and then you have like The Witcher that adds 30 more hours for the 2 that it got. So I mean, if it's a fucking expansion, then it counts. But like just little DLC missions,
All right. Well, let us review I Am Setsuna.
Wow. When I said intro, I didn't mean all of it.
Yes, it did. Fucking started.
listen to my story.
I already fucking said it.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't hear it.
No, he didn't say it. I did.
Oh. So Final Fantasy X is a role-playing game developed and published by Square. It's 10th entry in the Final Fantasy series, originally released in 2001 to the PS2. No, this game is a clone of Final Fantasy X. I Am Setsuna, which is the actual game we're going to review, and the actual trailer. Fuck it, I'll just play the trailer now. This one's not as long, so you don't have to suffer, and we won't get blocked for it, I'm sure.
In a land of sorrow and bitter cold, a tale of sacrifice will be told. A girl destined for death will give everything to save her people.
That's some beautiful music.
Yeah, it's...
Dude, yeah.
That's a gorgeous piece. Is that part? That's a in-game
That's in-game.
piece of music. Oh
Yeah.
man, that's a very pretty piano work.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, I wait till we get to the sound part of it because
Yeah. So I Am Setsuna
I can tell how Schweiss feels about this game.
is a Japanese role-playing video game developed by Tokyo RPG Factory, who is a company. It's a company that Square Enix set up to like throw all their second-tier and third-tier developers into to work on RPGs exclusively. At first, I was like, wow, I can't believe Square allowed them to make a game that's their games over again. And then I was like, oh, it's because Square set this company up, and they published it, so I guess they're cool with it. I don't know, whatever. So, yeah, the game came out in July of 2016, and it was released for the Nintendo Switch on March 3rd of 2017. So essentially, the land in this area is constantly in winter. Every area is like snowy and cold, and it's like this desolate land. And I guess monsters occasionally will invade the land and like start attacking humans, unless a sacrifice is sent to the last lands and loses their life basically to appease the monster.
Oh my god!
And it's something that happens over and over again.
every 10 years.
Every 10 years.
Every 10 years,
What?
they have to send a
Yes.
sacrifice
What?
to the last lands.
Yep, every fucking 10 years. You have to send a person to the last lands, and you sacrifice them, and they're going to die, and it's her journey to the last lands. Yeah.
To Xanarkand.
Yes, to Xanarkand. So,
Is there a time plot with a?
there is. There's a time plot.
Yeah.
So
Time travel.
the Dark Samsara was a youth who has like a ton of power and like basically fucked up. He like killed himself and he became a mass of energy known as the Dark Samsara, which essentially it's like what game is this? I know there's another game that deals with time in a very similar way.
So are we talking about the very ending at the beginning?
Yeah, well, there's not really any story in the game. You're just going on a journey, collecting characters
collecting members to your party. There's some intrigue there, and then you're going to drop that. Ah, you dropped it, and it's just someone's AutoCAD or whatever that is.
There's hardly any story in the game. Personally, it's not bad, but it's.
And then the people of the Last Lands, they destroyed their kingdom because they noticed that magic was They put spoilers on this fucking thing. So they noticed that people were slowly losing their magic. So they wanted to find out ways where they could increase everyone's magic, and the only people who were successful were these people in the Last Lands. But by doing so, they accidentally turned this kid into this dark monster.
Yeah, who becomes the evil guy, and then. Basically, the story revolves around a girl that's like the mistress of time, and she keeps going back in time to reset, to try to like take out, to try to like fix the problem.
So through this journey, each time that you come with the sacrifice to the end, they all choose to just sacrifice and not fix the problem. So the time judge winds back time until she gets the moment of time where everyone is ready to fight against the dark monster to make it so you don't have to do sacrifices anymore.
Which I'm pretty sure is Chrono Trigger, if I'm not mistaken. I think there's a time thing like that.
And this time it's different because
Chrono
you
Trigger,
are there.
you're just traveling through time. I don't know exactly what the plot is.
Yeah. It was fine. There's not really a whole lot going on in the story. I enjoyed the characters, though. We do find them periodically, and we have little side quests. And your guy actually is tasked by another character to kill Setsuna. And so the whole time you're kind of like following her around and like you're being prodded and like told, hey, you're going to end up having to kill this chick. You're going to have to kill her at some point. And then also the Dark Samsara sends this dude, this Fides dude who has a scythe after you, and you have to fight him. And then once you defeat him completely, he basically just joins you because he has nothing else to do with his life. It's pretty well. It's like a 2-year-old game. I mean, I don't give a fuck about spoiling it. It's I don't know. The story is really simple. It's just a hero's journey story. Basically, it's you going on an adventure with Setsuna as her guard, and you collect more members of her guard as time goes on to protect her on her mission to sacrifice herself in Zanarkand. So that's essentially the gist of the story. There is some cool stuff with the time. I thought that was kind of a cool little twist at the end where it's like, yeah, everything that's happened in the past was the past, but when you get to this point in the current, we reset.
Like how they tied in save points?
What do you mean?
How they make save points an actual part of the plot of the game where only certain people can actually see the light rings of where time is.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
That's why you can save there.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of weird. They had to explain that away.
And then you use a save point to basically go back in time.
Yeah. That I guess that's kind of cool. Huh? That's kind of a cool little ditty of sorts. Right?
It's just like the reason why you can save is because of the time judge fucking up with time.
Yeah. So honestly, this game doesn't really shine necessarily in the story department. It's kind of a standard RPG with a pretty standard and already done plot. And the weird part about it for me is
that a standard plot.
Yeah,
or just already done.
Well, already done, I guess. It's a standard hero's journey, but it's a plot that's already in Final Fantasy X. And here's the funny part. The first guy you come across, he was on a pilgrimage. He was on a journey before, but the journey failed, and he came back, and now he's this grizzled old guy with a giant sword. He is Auron, but he talks like Barrett from Final Fantasy VII, so it's weird. It's like two awesome characters fused into one. And then you get the Dragoon character, and then you get the mage. And the mage, the village that he comes from, they all used to have a lot of magic. No tits.
Oh.
They all used to have a lot of magic, but they realized that their magical power was shortening their lifespan, so they gave it away. But now he decided he wanted to do the magic to join us on our journey, so he has a shelf life now, and he's Vivi from Final Fantasy IX.
The whole story
basically.
plot there with Kier is the name of that kid, is that they live their life, and that they live longer, but then they live their life besieged by monsters all the time. And he's like, what's the point of a long life if you're not going to live it? So he'd rather take his magic to live a short life, but make it purposeful.
Yeah, so he is Vivi from FF9, right? And it's like this hodgepodge of Final Fantasy thrown into one game.
So my
It is
question,
an homage to the classical RPGs, is what it says.
Yeah, but
but those are newer.
10 is. I guess 10.
I guess they're classic now. It's
Well-
older than it was before.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
guess
true.
it's almost
Aren't some
20
of the
years
bosses
old, but-
basically the four fiends from like the original Final Fantasy?
The four
show?
fiends.
They are.
like
Yeah.
the water, the fire, the earth. And,
Yeah. There's a time boss that's a real asshole too.
Yeah.
Cures himself for a lot. It's annoying.
So this is just a Final Fantasy game.
Kind of, yeah. It is sort of a Final Fantasy game. I see why it won, because it is something that would be played by all of the listeners of the Final Fantasy podcast, probably.
Okay.
Unfortunately, it kind of lives in the shadow of that, and that's why a lot of people only consider it an okay game, is because of how similar it is to things that have come before, which I...
Well, then the person whose opinion I really want is Cameron's, because he hasn't actually played any of the Final
Yeah,
Fantasies.
yeah. So, Cameron, what did you think of the story?
Not that
What did
your,
you think
not
of
that your
the...
opinion is worth it.
Yeah, fuck you.
I didn't mean it that way.
So the feeling I got from this game was it tried to be simple and powerful is what I wanted to do. I wanted to have a simple story, but a powerful driving force for it. And then when we get to the music, it's the kind of same idea later with the music, it being simple piano pieces, but beautiful nonetheless. And I just feel like that's kind of the feeling that they wanted to go for it, where they're not... I mean, you can get into the weeds with the gameplay, but for the most part, it was just they're trying to be simple with the story. They didn't want to be overbearing with the story, and I think it played off, in my opinion, quite nicely. Yeah, it wasn't a perfect story at all. It was kind of eye-rolling parts every now and then, but
Yeah, like when people would laugh. And then, I don't know what it is about JRPGs, but like they're obsessed with people collapsing. And I noticed it in this game a lot, where like someone would do something taxing and they would just fall to the ground. And I'm like, ugh, God, this again? Like, are you okay? Everyone freaks out, and then they like put her in bed, and then they resurrect her with like some mage. Like that happens like 5 times in this game.
the English cover has some sticky stuff on it that I tried to cover so you could slide it in and out, but
Yeah, I'm
Careful.
pulling the cover out right now. Thanks for letting him know, Cameron.
I'm just saying it came with like little sticky 2-sided tape.
Sure, you
could
didn't
tape it
beat off
ends.
on the game.
No, it has
Love
2-sided
it that
tape
much.
on it.
Oh, okay. That's to keep it from coming out, I assume, which is now.
No, it was to keep it so I could
Lost.
I could decide which. For some reason, they put 2-sided tape on the English cover, and it's so you could tape it to the outside of it. But it's like, what if you just want to swap covers every now and then? You just slide it inside of the little plastic covering they have. You can just swap it in and out. You don't need to have fucking 2-sided tape on it.
Yeah,
Going about it the whole wrong way.
that's what happens.
I don't know. I enjoy the story. One of my complaints is it just felt like this was a side project that could have been a greater idea. It felt like they did this in their spare time and they made it, and it feels like you just play through it super fast. It doesn't feel like
Yeah.
there's much story there. There's like they could have done more development. They could have pulled you into side quests a little bit better because it's complete. It's easy to just ignore those.
Did you do those? Any of them?
I think I did the one for Kier.
Oh, really?
I think I can't remember.
I did. I did all of them, but
I
the
didn't do all
trophy
of 'em.
tied.
So personally, I enjoyed the game a lot more than I thought I would. So I'd probably give the story, I'm going to go with 8, just because I don't know anything that it's pulling from. I don't know all the Final Fantasy references. All I know, it is a lot like those other games, but I enjoyed the story. It's not perfect, but I think it was good.
Okay.
A good feeling.
Yeah, I think the story's all right in this game. I enjoy the fact that you're walking with a doomed character. I like how you end
And
up
then
breaking
the strained relationship that your character makes with Setsuna.
Yeah, it has a similar Final Fantasy X thing where you get to like choose from a couple different responses. So you can be like a dick, or you can be really nice. And as far as I can tell, that doesn't really matter.
No.
Not like it does in 10, where you can like hit up certain characters and like they'll be the ones that hang out with you for the rest of the game. You know, Lulu on the like, fucking speeder bike and whatnot on the snow, and like their awesome
reminding
tits
me,
flying
yeah.
around. Yeah, everyone just thinks that it's Lulu, but it's only because you went to her first. Like you went to her because she's got the huge tits, so you talk to her naturally.
Yeah, naturally.
Yeah, of course, very natural.
Uh-huh.
Nothing fake about it.
Big naturals.
That's right. So I didn't dislike the story, and I do think it is original in its own right. With the time plot, and I liked the time plot in the game. I think it's kind of a cool idea of like
Again,
they just keep resetting time.
It was a time plot, and time plots generally can get kind of complicated and out of hand. But this one, they did their best to keep it simple, but adding another element in the game to allow Setsuna to become a martyr.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. And yeah, they ended up figuring out what the problem was. We ended up killing the dark Samsara, and we kind of stop it all. So time just carries on normally after that, essentially.
Question for you is, so India's stuck in the past now, right?
Stuck in the past? What do you mean?
So when they go back to the past to chase after the dark Samsara, and then she absorbs it, and then you decide to swing your sword, not swing your sword, she dies either way. Sorry, guys, spoilers.
Yeah.
Because fuck it. And then you're just left walking. I think you are stuck in the past. They had magic to send you and Setsuna to the past to fix it, but then you're just stuck there.
Yeah.
And I think maybe that could tie in to you maybe going back to your village and then encouraging a young Indir.
Maybe.
Giving him his first Cyclone Sprite Night.
That could be, yeah. I guess you could, like, have some fucked up thing.
But anyways, India's totally just fucking stuck in the past.
If you look each other in the eye, though, you both be unmade. That's what happens when it's a time loop like that, where you look at yourself. If you like make eye contact, you just like there's nothing left because you acknowledge the time fuck up, and then you're just gone.
Anyways, he's off doing whatever he can do.
Yeah, no, he's fucked. I guess. I mean, they still save it, so once he gets back to normal time, when he's
but he's gonna be old.
When he's an old bastard or dead, he's basically the sacrifice of the game. So it does something similar to Final Fantasy X, where you have the protagonist and you also have the main character, and they're kind of different. You start out as Endir, but he's really kind of a side guy for almost the entire story.
Yeah.
Whereas Titus is a lot more of a main, to be honest, than this guy is. This guy's kind of there, and you can control him, but you can control anybody in the game. You can choose which character you're walking around as. So it's like, yeah, you started with that guy, but really it's all about Setsuna. And then you end up being sacrificed as well, because, yeah, you're right, he's stuck. And that would be kind of cool if that was him.
Just a side thought, nothing that really ties it to that, but it'd be funny if you go back to the past, and so you just do the best you can do to prepare yourself for the journey you're about to take.
He's his own father. That's what TrueHoax said. So you're a little special.
Futurama fries his own grandfather.
Yeah, that's right. So I'm going to give the story, I'm going to give it a 7. I think it's a fine story. I don't think it really brought anything super original to the table, other than the cool thing with the time plot in the end. The characters overall I thought were slightly interesting. Not the best written characters, to be honest, but I didn't really hate any of them. I just hated playing as some of them because they were useless in the damage department, so I didn't. But really, personally, where I think this game shines is definitely going to be in the gameplay category. So the game plays as a action time battle based RPG, which is kind of turn based, kind of not really. So you got the little bar that fills up, and then when it fills to the top, it's your turn. The enemy has their own one that's hidden, of course. But this game adds something a little different with the momentum mode. So when you wait, once your bar reaches the top, you have
your action bar, which fills up. You can perform an action, but on top of that, you have a momentum sphere, and once it fills up, you'll get a little star on it, and you can have it fill up to 3 separate stars.
Yeah, which is kind of the overdrive or the limit break thing in Final Fantasy, where like you get it for waiting, you get it for taking damage, you get it for dealing damage. So it kind of combines a lot of the different optional systems in FF10 to gain overdrive to do your special attacks. And there's once you get these momentum points, you can enter momentum mode, which is when you, and the game doesn't tell you this, by the way.
Mine did.
Mine doesn't say a fucking word. It talks about momentum, but doesn't talk about like how to level up the Sprite Knight and any of that.
Well, yeah, it doesn't talk about how you level up Sprite Knight, but it tells you how, when you attack, to press a button to enter momentum mode for that attack. So my game explained that to me.
So I got that. That's fine. So like when you do an attack, the little thing, the name of the attack comes up and it's in this blue box. And when it's like sending off its little sparkles and like, like its colors and shit, all like fanciful, that's when you press square or whatever it is on the Switch. And then you can add extra damage to your attack. Now, you can do the same thing with spells. And when you do that with a spell, you have the possibility of adding a Sprite Knight upgrade. And the upgrade is based on talismans that you equip. So, like, if I have a talisman that has the chance to flux, which is what the process is called, it's called fluctuation, critical chance. When I do that move and I have momentum built up, I have a star on that little orb, I have a chance to add the talisman, one of the talisman's buffs, to that particular Sprite Knight, which is tied to the move.
Correct.
So it's like a bullshit convoluted system, but it's really awesome when you figure it out.
Yeah, once you figure it out. So talismans, they'll have a basically a flux action, and the ones with the least amount of different things they can do are usually better, because then you can grind out your
one particular
stat.
Yeah.
Then most of them will have a bonus stat where they can make you see enemy health or anything else. The ones that I like when I'm trying to grind out fluxes are just the increased flux chance, because it just makes it a breeze.
Yeah.
And so another gameplay element are these Sprite Knights or spells that you use can also be used in tandem with other heroes' spells. So you can do a combo effect up to, you can get all 3 party members joining in on it. The only problem is the game never fucking tells you which Sprite Knight to get to do which combo, and you basically don't know that you can do a combo until you see in your tech list that you have it, or if you just go way deep in the menus, it tells you with what you have equipped now what combos you have.
Yeah, well, it tells you like, hey, with this person you have this combo, with this and this person you have this combo. And then you would have to go into that person's stats and look at their Sprite Knight and see what combo lines up and then kind of find it. Or you can use the internet, which is what I did.
Cheater.
And it's pretty useful. Like there's a whole
internet is useful.
Yes, there's a whole wiki on I Am Setsuna.
Okay.
And so basically there are so many different combinations that you can basically get away with any powerful combo that you want.
Yeah, as long as you can buff yourself, keep yourself alive, you can beat the game in a ton of different ways.
The most important things are dealing a sick amount of damage and healing yourself up. Those are the 2 most important
Yeah, I would
things.
say that and debuffing.
And so there's this one combo that I like to use, the blow beat one, which does a ton of debuffs, but also a ton of damage at the same time. And if you increase the critical hit rate for Indir, it does a lot of crit damage at the same time, which I guess is why for me it was so powerful.
Yeah. So there's a lot of different combinations you can do. Like I had Endir's Battle Cry move, which increases your attack and defense. But then I also had critical chance up. I had critical strike combo. So like when I did that move in momentum mode, I had like 10 things that it gave me.
Yeah,
and I became fucking ridiculous.
That's what I would do for most fights. I would wait for Indir to have his momentum charged up. I'll do his battle cry, which makes Indir's action bar fill up super fast.
Yeah.
So by the time you get, then it was Setsuna, and I did her Luminaire, which does light damage to the enemy and heals all of your party. And then when I got to Nadir, who is the other part of the combo, I would use him to initiate the combo underneath Battle Cry and Momentum, and just do a crazy ton of damage, extra status debuffs, and crit damage.
Yeah. The game, I think the gameplay is really fun in this, and I like the system that they set up. It's really complicated, and they don't do a very good job of telling you how to use it. But
there's only one boss though that gave me a lot of trouble.
Which one?
It was the Rydek, the guy before the airship that you get. It's because he would cast Stop 3 times in a row, and I had to find Sprite Knight that gave you Stop Shield, and after I had that, that fight was so easy.
Yeah, I think the one I got really pissed at was the giant goat monster, and I was remembering Catherine, and I was like, "Fucking goats! Like, what the fuck, man? Like, how many goats are gonna fuck me in these games? Like, Jesus Christ!"
See, with that boss, you just got to keep doing tons of damage.
What I ended up doing was dispelling his cure thing, and I just fucking annihilated him.
My solution to most situation was more damage.
Yeah. That is a way to deal with it. Yeah.
Oh, he's gonna heal for 1,000. Doesn't matter. It'll be gone in 3 turns.
Yeah. But yeah, there's a lot of gameplay there. There are optional side quests once you get to the end of the game, to the last lands. There's trophy cleanup for fighting all of the Sprite Night eaten monsters, which essentially is like corrupt versions of monsters that like become fucked up.
For the most time, Sprite Night eaten monsters are harder than the actual bosses.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Some of those, like the Deer Digimon thing. That thing was sick. Digidearmon was. I was like, no.
There was
when I ran into it, I was like, oh god, and then it fucking destroyed me, and I was like, oh no, fucking Digimon, come on. Like Digimon fucks me, and then I get fucked by a goat. I'm like, dude.
The Sprite Night monsters that I had the hardest time with are the Digi Angelmon that would just, if you don't kill them in your first run through, they just cast repel magic.
So there was more than one Digimon in the game?
Yes, there were, and I was like, is this like a Nude Clan reference game? Like,
and then another one of them, the Tiger one, that was just a fucking Digimon too.
Oh, that one's supposed to be
Tigermon.
sick.
Okay, he was hard the first time I went against him, but then I realized that if you just slow him a fuck ton, it's super easy.
He was in the cave, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I just annihilated him. I think I did die once, though.
I think I was under-leveled at that point, so I just switched out one of the characters for the Eternia and just cast slow.
The only one that
it'd give you enough time to heal in between his huge attacks.
The only one that made me like Hulk rage was the fucking goat. And I think it's because it was a giant. It was a giant sheep because he kept curing for like 999.
Oh, I know, and I just powered through that.
And I almost killed him.
Took me like 20 minutes, but I still.
I reset because I was like, "Fuck this, man!" And I was like freaking out. I was so chilled and like I was like, I'm just gonna
a pillow.
I'm just gonna play this. No, he wasn't. Thank God. I was just gonna play this game. I've got a little time before I go to work, and like for some reason, like seeing him do that made me get fucking pissed, and I was like, fuck this, and I just shut it off, and I was like, fuck this stupid fucking game, this fucking giant massive goat, like why like I just remember getting like pwned by that goat and fucking Catherine, and like I got super pissed that I was getting fucked over by another sheep beast. So I just fucking
I don't know. I don't understand what that fight was.
I guess it was a sheep more than a goat in both cases, but fuck those
What
guys.
level were you at when you started finding the goat?
I don't know, like 20s or something. That was before I started going.
That's Kier's village, and so they were doing the waves.
Yeah, but I didn't know about the fucking Sprite Night thing because no one had told me yet.
I didn't know about it really either at that point.
I told you before you started it.
Yeah, but you just very vague. Like
that's how it is. It's vague because you don't fucking know until you're doing it.
I learned all about the fluxes and Sprite Nights from the internet.
Yeah, you have to. The game doesn't do shit to fucking help you along.
And there's still fluxes that they're like, we're pretty sure it does this, but not 100%. So
well, then the problem is I'm looking at like a walkthrough of someone like one-shotting everybody in the optional area, and I'm like, dude, I have that ability. I'm gonna go in there. I'm gonna do it. And I go and I'm like, yeah, oh shit, mine's way weak. I'm like, oh, great. I don't know what this guy has attached to each of the 3 abilities that combine to make this thing fucking one-shot. So now I'm just going to have to go out and grind out
combo
stats
power
on every one of their 3 different individual things.
Combo power and crit hit rate.
And the problem is, Cameron, it's not like I'm adding buffs to a buff move where I can just do it 1,000 times in the battle. I'm adding it to an attack.
Yeah.
And when you're adding fluxes to Sprite Night, and I know this all sounds like unless you played the game, but when you're adding fluxes to Sprite Night, the more fluxes you have on the Sprite Night, the less of your chance is lessened for adding.
That's why you need to find the talisman that increases your flux rate. It's the only way to grind it out.
Yeah.
So, and then my one problem is I wanted to grind out fluxes for both the Luminaire on Setsuna and the Blow Beat for Nadir and Indir. The only problem is that Indir and Nadir would one-shot everything every time I went to go do it, so I had to switch it with my party so she could go first with her Luminaire, so she has a chance for Flux. And then the other 2 come in for their chance of Flux.
See, the one I liked more than Luminaire, I can't remember what it's called, but it was like something light, and you would get a counter for how much you would heal, and like it would have like total amount healed, and then you would deal damage based on the amount healed.
That's
it was
cool.
Yeah, it was fucking nuts.
I have to find that.
Because I would just spam Cure 2.
Luminaire was really great against the bosses because it's a lot of light damage, and I guess they're super weak to that. So that was really nice. Because she would do 1,000+ damage every time she'd heal us.
Yeah, yeah.
But that way could have been Could have been slightly more, yeah.
Because I got like up to 30,000.
Because she would heal about 430 per party member, and that would have been more than just like a 1,200 damage. So
yeah. But one of the other things that this game has that's really cool, I think, is the loot system. Caleb Craig's favorite thing to hate. In this game,
It depends on the game.
In this game,
yeah, the drop system.
there are ways to kill enemies to get certain items to drop. So you have like 12 different types of kills. You have a link kill, which is where you comboed with another character.
Okay.
So and you know what? Okay, the stupidest enemy in the game is a squirrel riding a fucking snowball, right? So if I'm fighting a squirrel riding a snowball, which is the weebiest, stupidest fucking thing in here.
Okay, but that's part of design, and that's one thing that I have a bone to pick with.
Yeah, when you're fighting one of those, if I were to kill it with a link kill, it would drop, the snowball. If I were to kill it as just an overkill, where you kill it and like kill the shit out of it, it would drop its head. Its head would fall off. If I use a time attack like Demi or something like that, it would be a time kill. There's like 12 different types of kills, and those are all linked to specific items that you need to get.
And my problem
new Sprite Knights
is that I would get a certain weapon or do a certain thing and go through an area, and then later realize because I was using that certain weapon, I never got the item I needed for that Sprite Knight. So I have to fucking track all the way back
and
kill them in the correct manner in order to get the ingredients I need for that Sprite Knight.
And this game, so we talk about how Zelda was kind of crazy before the internet, because like the backtracking in the woods and stuff. This game without the internet would be sick. Because you'd have to be like, okay, I did this, and it dropped this item. Because I think it would eventually dawn on you when you're looking at the Sprite Knights in the store, and you're like, why the fuck do I not have this item? And then you would eventually see like, oh my god, it's tied to how I kill certain enemies, and you're like, fuck, and you'd have to just like have like a text file that's like,
you'd have to
snowball, squirrel, motherfucker,
and then
like each type of kill and what it fucking drops.
You have to go to each enemy and kill every enemy every way you can kill an enemy.
Yeah. And it's sick. You have to fuck it every which way.
And then there's an exact kill where if you kill something within a few points of its hit points, that's an exact kill. And once you've leveled a certain amount, you're never going to get exact kills on anything anymore. But there's a special island of developers you can get to in the game, and one of the characters can increase the difficulty of all the monsters to match yours, so you can get more exact kills.
Yeah, when he asked me that, I was like, are you fucking high? I don't want to do that. Like, fuck that. This game's already bullshit with the final area. Like, eat my shit. And then, like, I guess that would be useful because
it's still you can keep getting exact kills.
But yeah, there's like the loot system is super in depth, and I actually kind of enjoyed it. I was like, that's actually a really cool idea.
In reality, the area is so small of the map area of the game, and once you get your fucking airship, it's like nothing.
Yeah,
that it's not hard to backtrack and go grind out some of the materials.
Also, the airship sounds like it comes straight out of like Meet the Jetsons. It just has that little like sound to it when you're flying around.
I'm super sad you can't land it on the water. I just wanted to see if the airship could fly.
Yeah. The boy Elroy. Could see him flying around the world.
His wife.
I would die if that. Oh, that's great. But.
It made me think of the the animated Treasure Island film that Disney wants to forget.
Oh yeah, I watched that.
Treasure Planet.
Yeah. I used to like that a lot. The first half of that movie is pretty bad.
Yeah.
The second half is pretty fun though.
The movie's bad.
It's bad overall. Yeah.
I haven't seen it in years. I was done with Disney when they made that Atlantis movie.
That one's also
Atlantis
not great.
is terrible.
And the second one is pretty terrible too.
Oh, man,
sadly,
we came into consciousness as Disney was starting to go downhill.
Yeah, that's why everyone that's like
their last great Disney movie for like fucking 10 years was Mulan, guys. And so it was like fuck Disney when we were like, I don't know. It's funny.
The ones that were out when we were young. Like
now Disney is on top of the world again. They're having like another resurgence. And, thanks to Tangled and all that. But yeah, after Mulan, it was just like a desert wasteland of shitty movies.
Yeah, which is crazy because like the best eras of movies, they like put out the worst shit. Like the 70s
that is
and
what
90s.
happens.
Yeah.
Like Disney is a counterpoint. They always got their good shit when everybody else is.
They're just like, you can't have
poorly.
everything. You can't have everything. So you won't have us.
All right. Let's not devolve.
No, but there's that. The boss fights are fun. They're unique. They have different strategies. They're really frustrating sometimes.
Yeah.
And it's
more about managing, because you can just do your attack without momentum, but the boosts you get from using momentum just make it so much more valuable.
Yeah.
You gotta gauge, hey, how many hits can I realistically take without dying? So you're waiting for your momentum to proc so you can do those higher value attacks. Not just higher damage, but you get more value out of your attacks when you wait for your momentum to...
Right, so there's a lot of timing in it. There's a lot of use your other party members, because like you said, like when you started using slow, which I didn't use Eterna for a long time.
One thing you'll notice is that the game tries to make it to where you get to an area where another party member is more viable, so you don't just keep someone in the back party the whole time, because these are characters they develop. They want you to use these characters in their story.
Yep.
And so each area you get to, you could just level the fuck out of your party so they blew through the area anyway. But each time you get to an area, there's a certain party member who's more adept at handling the threat that's there.
Yeah, like when I got Julianne for the first time, she was like balls to the wall. Like I was like, holy fuck, she's dealing so much fucking damage. Now I don't use her at all. And the reason why is because the level grinding trick that I used on the those fucking pangy motherfuckers.
Yeah, I did that too. You would so another part of the game that they don't tell you about, that you just have to fucking find out, is that there's little hidden objects. They're not hidden. They're little bright little glinty pieces of things, whatever, on the map. You walk over to it, gives you a little sound bite to know that you're over the top of it. You pick it up, and it's usually a piece of food or an ingredient for a recipe. You just got to pick them up, and then through random conversations with people in the village, someone go, hey, you have these items, let me go make you that recipe. And then they'll give you a recipe which you can then give to a cook, because they don't know any recipes until you tell them, and you can start using food.
Yeah, awful cooks, by the way.
Then the food will give you various resistances and buffs, but the major thing is most of them will give you XP boosts. There's that secret dev island that you can go to, and they give you this food item that just gives you a shit ton of extra experience after every battle.
Yeah.
So I would strongly suggest you get that recipe if you ever want to grind out just levels in the game.
Yeah, I would caution that, though, because the final optional dungeon levels with you, so have fun. It's not great.
But it's going to be the same difficulty no matter what then, right?
I guess. I mean, you can be under-leveled and still have sick-ass shit, and you could just destroy them with the Sprite
All it
Knights.
matters is what your Sprite Knight level
Really, the problem is if you don't know about the system until you unlock the final dungeon, you're fucked. That's what I've discovered. If you don't understand how the game works until you understand how the game works and the game's almost over, you're going to have a hard time. So I think it is fun to play, though. I think it's a pretty fun game. I like how it's action time battle instead of turn-based. I like how you can kind of manage your team. I like how everybody has their own values. It's not quite like FF10, where in FF10 you'll have like a flying guy, a flan that's weak to magic, and like an armored guy, and you have like specific characters that are really good against them. It's more like the areas. So I'd say it's more like late game FF10, where you're doing so much fucking damage that it doesn't matter who you have. You're going to kill them no matter what. But it does have that with the bosses. Monsters have their weaknesses, monsters have their strengths, and each of your party members will be strong or weak in their own way, so you just got to know who's the most effective, unless you just level the fuck out of everyone, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, and I would suggest using each party member, at least for a little while. They are pretty strong in certain areas, so it's fun. I like the optional quests. I like learning a little bit more about each of the characters, getting their ultimate weapons.
Joe would say that that's not good storytelling.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
So
Joe,
what? There's extra characters that you can explore?
There's extra character development you don't get unless you do their side missions. But it's not like
extra or
extra.
Necessary?
Extra.
They're extra.
Okay. That's all right.
I didn't count that in story, though.
One thing I do want to mention is that I played this game on the Switch, the handheld, for the whole game, and I'm just going to have to say it felt that's where it needed to be. That I don't know how it felt on a bigger TV on the PlayStation, but playing it on the Switch just felt the thing that just felt right.
Yeah, it wasn't like when I played Type 0 and I was like, wow, this is a PSP game when I was playing this game, but I was like, I think it would have been pretty fun on the Switch. Like,
this felt to me like a AAA handheld game.
Yeah.
because I was playing on triple
So it's like a
handheld console.
So it's like a AA minus, a AA minus on a console, a AAA on a handheld.
Yeah. So if you're struggling
Isn't that
with
the credit
finding
rating of the
which
US,
games to
or-
play on the Switch,
I believe so.
trying to find out what games to play on the Switch, I would strongly suggest this game for the Switch because you have the best of both worlds, handheld and on your
But
TV.
you don't have trophies.
You don't, yeah.
But you don't have the trophies, and if you're a trophy whore, then
Yeah. Oh, spread them. Spread those legs.
What would you give gameplay then, guys?
I would give gameplay a 9. In my
9
opinion.
out of 10.
Yeah, I quite enjoyed
High,
this.
high praise from Cameron.
I mean, once you figure out what the fluxes do, and once you figure out what you're going for, it's not hard to grind them out. I mean, you could spend maybe an hour getting to where you want to be, and that's about it.
all right.
Yeah, I don't want
Schweiss?
to do that anymore, though. Spent too many hours.
This is another RPG for you, another JRPG even.
Yeah.
How
And
many is that now?
I don't know.
like 3, isn't it?
Let's
'Cause
see.
you did.
There's
Persona.
Persona 5, Digimon,
Fuck that game.
Nier, and
Nier is
I Am
great.
Setsuna.
I am Setsuna.
Is there another one?
Not unless you're counting Monster Hunter.
That's
really.
not really. No.
We got to give him Final Fantasy 15, which he owns, right?
Yeah.
He does own it.
Jesus Christ.
Fucking play it.
The last thing
It's
I saw you
shit.
do was like really enjoy the Scorpions like theme
Yeah,
trophy,
it's just
and then you
because
just
that was
shut it off
it was like a deep pull for a Final Fantasy video
yeah, it was
game.
real deep.
It was knocked me like a hurricane, and that to me was just
It was
the
for
best
killing the
trophy.
Scorpions in the beginning of the game.
And that to me is a fun deep pull.
That's why you quit. You were like, I want that to be the last trophy I got in this
Knocked me like a hurricane. I love it.
Love that shit.
game. Wow.
Great.
Turn it off. I'm done here.
Schweiss?
Yeah, I'll give it a 9 too. I don't think it's perfect gameplay. I think there are some frustrating moments. I think the gameplay does suffer from them not really explaining the Sprite Night system at all. Pretty much, it doesn't. I mean,
see, their reasoning behind that is we're just like the old RPG games that didn't tell you fucking shit. You just
Yeah.
gotta figure it out.
They didn't have
then-
to,
and
though.
then
The
the
old
elitists-
RPGs didn't develop
The
like,
elitists, the purists
intense
will come in there and
systems
say,
till later.
that's just part of the game. You just got to try every fucking combination just to know.
yeah, and I mean, I had a few naturally that I did, but I didn't realize.
Okay, so hard
exactly
part
what
for
was
me,
happening.
since I'm new to this type of game, is I didn't know you just go to the world map to save. I didn't know you could do that.
Oh yeah, that's a thing. Yeah,
Is that like
That
an
sucks for
RPG
you.
thing?
Yeah,
Yeah,
for the
so I
most
had
part.
no fucking clue. And so as soon as I figured it out, it was not a habit. But I tried to, every time I try to remember doing it, I would do it. But then let's say the fight after the guy who has the fucking airship, I fight him, get in the airship, and I'm just like fucking, woo, look at me flying all over the map. I forget to fucking save somewhere. So I'm like, I ought to go try some of these Sprite Night guys and get
Oh,
fucked.
yeah.
And I have to fight the fucking boss again. An extra 20 minutes of him just trying to cast stop on me and then me trying to kill him fast enough. So I am not used to knowing that you can only save in these certain areas
yeah, you can save
on the world map.
on the world map,
But
yeah.
not while you're in the ship.
Nope.
If you want to save, you have to get out of the ship lands. Oh, you have to make sure you can land there. And then you get out, then you save, get back in the ship.
Yeah, no landing manipulation in this one though, which is unfortunate. Because in FF7, there's like a spot where you're supposed to get a chocobo that can walk on water to select the Jesus chocobo, right? You're supposed to get him to get this certain area, but you can land your airship, and like as you land it, you can like jackknife it to the side, and your character will jump out on the side that you're not supposed to land on. Nothing fun like that in this game. It's just natural landings,
Yeah.
unfortunately. So you can't move while you're landing. So.
And there's certain special ingredients hidden away in the mountains you can't get access to. You just have to know where to land.
Yeah. The game has optional dungeons that you can run through. There's a lot of content in the game, so gameplay is pretty solid. I think it's a good game to play.
Cool.
Art and graphics.
So art was good, but can we also kind of do
What's
like
good?
character design?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all.
Okay.
That's all
It's
part
all
of the
design.
art.
Because one big
if it's a
detriment,
guy who doesn't program, it's in this department.
okay, so one big detriment for me is the enemy design. So when you first start the game, it's fine. Yeah, they have some weird fucking monsters like the snowball squirrels. It's like
I hate
why?
those
Why
things.
would you do that? And how?
Snowball squirrel.
Why does their snowball have no traction on the snow, but they're able to stand on top of it like a little ball? They're just like, oh, hey, I'm running on the snowball, can't hit me. Ooh. But then they're just staying in place, and the snowball's rolling. And it's just like fucking stupid designs like that I don't like. But the biggest thing for me is that every area you went to, it's just a harder version of monsters you've already seen.
Yeah, no variety necessarily.
There's no variety. No, like you don't
So
see
it's like Final Fantasy
unique
13 that
enemies
way.
until you get to the like the very last end frozen lands.
Yeah, and then they're all Digimon, so you hate it.
Then they are basically all Digimon. Actually, yeah. Like I was thinking, like the dinosaur monster. That's fucking. He's straight up a Digimon too.
Yeah, fucking Digimon.
But yeah, there's no uniqueness in monster design until at the first part. Yeah, they're all new, they're all unique. But after the first part, they're just all more the same.
And that's something that
Just
FF10 does as
recolors.
well.
Yep, just recolors, and then they can do fire damage instead of lightning damage.
That's a thing with RPGs.
It is.
That's a thing.
So I didn't like that.
it's-
Other than that, the world looks great.
That's actually surprisingly, Digimon doesn't do that, which is amazing to me.
Well,
That's
there
one thing
are
it
some
does.
recolored Digimon, but
Some
yeah,
of the
for most part,
dungeons
they are, like,
look a little bit
extremely
repetitive,
different.
but they were fine.
The gameplay in the dungeons is always repetitive too, by the way.
Yeah.
Just clear it.
Um,
The final area looked really cool. It was like a giant hairball in the sky.
No, okay, that was one thing I wanted to talk about, or if I could have streamed it, I would have talked about it on the stream. As you're walking up to the big old, it's basically a cocoon is what it looks like. And you have the fibrous filaments coming off the cocoon that you can kind of see through as the light's kind of spreading through it. And it's just like you look off to the edge of it, and it's just like the amount of detail that they put into that object itself was just insane.
It looks cool, yeah. And it's
Yeah.
like the threads of time is kind of
Yeah.
what it is. And I'm like, yeah, that's
The
that's
cocoon of
fun.
time.
Yeah, the ball sack, the hairy testes of time. Pull your string on
Interesting.
out.
The
Yeah.
world was interesting. The first
snow covered.
So when you first got that ship, was the first thing you did is just fly around the whole fucking map, just see all the extra islands you couldn't get to
Yeah,
before?
well, the first thing I did was go grab all the really easy trophies of like saw
okay.
blah 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 ruins, saw blah 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 ruins, went to blah blah blah, and then I went around and collected all the food ingredients to taste all of the different foods to get those trophies. So yeah, I explored, and then I went to each island because I was like, the game is actually really fun right now because I have the ability to go anywhere that I want, and I want to see what's on these other islands. A lot of them are empty and tied to side content that you unlock later, but some of them have like the Dev Island where you've got a classic Final Fantasy thing that
Yeah,
they do
so-
where it's developers, it's all 8-bit.
It's 8-bit developers all have their own little thing that they want to say, but you do find a pretty powerful sword there and a pretty powerful food item.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's worth it to explore in the game. The game rewards you for doing what you've wanted to do the whole time and you couldn't do until the very end. Yeah, I think the design, though, I think the look of it is fine. I think it looks like a pretty good looking PS3 game. So it's not quite up to snuff, but I don't think it's really supposed to be.
It was designed to be cartoonish. It was designed to be easy on the eyes game that'll surprise you in every so often with the actual design, like the cocoon and then the falling snow, and that's just there as you're part of the game.
Yeah, and I thought the like snow parting as you walked looked really cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the design is fine. The character design, like you said, is really repetitive, and some of them are like annoying with the design. Like I just don't like the way it looks.
Fucking squirrels. And the
Yeah.
fucking just bouncing balls with fucking huge ears and like ear puffs on them.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
have legs; they just bounced.
Yep, the puff puffs. That's
I wonder
they're
what
called.
line of selection would make for a bouncing body.
Yeah, I've spent too much time thinking about that. Like, how is this evolution possible in this world? Like,
Especially in snow, the way they hop around in snow, it's just like it's crazy.
yeah, that defies all logic. The character designs were fine. A lot of the villagers kind of look the same. It's kind of standard RPG.
The only thing that
fare.
makes sense is if they have like some sort of tough air bladder that they can inhale and exhale out of it really fast to give them that springing action.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man, I could see that.
Yeah. It's just a ball with fucking ears. And it bounces.
There were Digimon like that.
Yes.
Well, that's true. There were. So design and graphics and design and art, I would probably give. I'll probably give it a 7.
7?
I was
Mostly
thinking 7 as well.
fair for the most part. Some really impressive looking stuff at
Yeah.
times, but for the most for most of the game, it's kind of repetitive. And
Yeah, it's just I mean, the game itself was short, so the repetitiveness didn't really wear on you that much. But see, I wanted the game to be a little bit longer, personally, and I would want more character designs, more unique
more
enemies.
variety. But you said, I mean, it was basically a high-end mobile title, so
kind of,
No,
yeah.
it's a AAA, not mobile. I wouldn't say mobile. I would say handheld.
handheld. I'm sorry.
A AAA handheld game
Yeah.
Okay.
is
Sound and music.
So now this is where the game really fucking excelled. Like whatever they did for that guy, like what I said before, this game wanted to be simple and powerful at the same time, and they fucking just did it with the soundtrack. Like there would be times where I just wanted to turn the soundtrack up just so I can be like lost in the piano music that the guy was doing.
I just checked out the composer. He's 24, by the way.
Yeah,
Brand new composer.
Fucking good job. And if you go to
straight off the line.
So if you go into the dev village, there's one of the guys who goes, "Hey, do you like the music?" The developer said he cried a lot because he was trying to make this music very sorrowful. It's like whatever they had in Japanese that they translated to English. It's a little weird.
Is he 24 now or 24?
He's 24
when he made
now.
It? So he was 22 when he made it.
Probably, yeah.
Excellent,
Yeah.
excellent job. Very simple, but in a very good way.
Don't you just love having people that are just way
Actually,
more
he probably would have
talented
been
than you?
21 because the year-long development time.
Like, I
and
seriously
then it
just-
released
He
2
went
years
to
ago.
Berkeley or some shit. Yeah.
Wow.
I just want to just listen to his music on YouTube and just the piano stuff. It is
Tomoki Miyoshi, by the way.
It wasn't like they didn't say who their composer was for a while. Was there something about that?
I don't know.
I don't
Okay.
know. didn't
I
read
only
the-
looked up his name and tried to find out who he was. He's got a website.
Anyways, he did an excellent job here. The music fit the game just so perfectly, and in a way where it was powerful, not over obtrusive to the what was going on, but it had its moments where you're going through just trekking through the land, or you're in an area and you're just like, wow, this music just fits.
So
Yeah.
there was no really annoying songs.
Yeah, and then as for the
Okay.
sound design for everything else, there were no annoying songs.
It's surprising because
the one song you hear the
Final
most is the
Fantasy
travel
always
song.
has one.
The
There's
one
always
annoying
one.
you could probably say the travel song was annoying just because you would hear that the most because you're on the world map, you're just trekking from one area to another, and it wasn't a
Not what I
bad
mean by
song.
annoying.
Yeah, but no, there was no song that was like, oh, that's an ugly song. No.
Okay.
Sounds like you're crunching through the snow. Sounds pretty cool. Your sword sounds were standard, but they were good.
Nothing out of place.
No.
Sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
How's the voices?
All in
Japanese.
Japanese.
So you don't know.
Sounds
They
fine.
sound good to
Sound
me.
fine to me.
It's like in battle too. They don't have any like voice cutscenes really.
Yeah.
They just say things in battle
Yeah.
in Japanese. It's
Schweiss?
really weird. I don't know. I like the music in the game. It put me to sleep a couple times because it's really relaxing with the piano and like the soft tones, and it is kind of it does kind of put you in the mood to go see someone sacrifice themselves for the good of mankind. So I suppose it does do its job really well.
It was just supposed to make you.
Just puts you in that mood.
It's
huh?
a sense of like what has to happen, but being sad by it at the same time.
But the problem with that is that I wasn't really sad about it. 'Cause I didn't really care about the characters that much. But the music, it did a pretty good job. I do think a lot of it does sound Xanarkand-esque with the piano. They just kind of did like a slow, sad piano song. So like
Well,
it's like, yeah, I mean, they did it, but it's not that good. It's not as good as the one song that they're trying to be.
you think so?
No,
I
don't.
thought it was beautiful.
It was-
When
it's
you
fucking-
played the
it
two
is
pieces side by
fucking
side, it was
beautiful.
like they're both
Hey,
equally
pull
beautiful
up-
piano music.
Just I don't know. I want to listen to more of it, like on YouTube. Just like pull up a portion of it. Maybe we can do that later. But
Yeah, I do think it's good though, and I don't really have any issues with the music.
I just feel like did you have headphones on?
No, I played on my TV.
Like it's just like the music just felt so good. I don't know what it was about it.
Well, it was good music, apparently.
Felt good.
Felt good.
Puts you in the mood to see people sacrifice. Apparently,
right,
it's a
yeah.
very specific
Well,
mood.
What would you give it out of 10?
That's a 10 for me.
It's 10 for Cameron.
Yep.
So you would sacrifice somebody to that music.
I would sacrifice someone to that music.
Okay.
I'll give it a 9. I think it's pretty good. I I don't know. I didn't like it as much as Cameron though. I don't think I'd like go out and buy the soundtrack.
I wouldn't either. I just listened to it on YouTube.
But it's
You ruined the music industry.
it's good.
You done ruined
It sounds good.
I mean, it's
you know.
a perfect supplement for the game. There isn't like anything there to just listen to unless you like piano music. Just to sit down and just listen to piano music for a while.
Yeah.
Replayability. You gonna play this again?
I would give replayability probably an 8, especially if I had trophies. I don't have any trophies on the Switch. But there's so many more combos that you want to try, so many more different OP things and places you want to explore and side missions you can do. So definitely worth an 8.
All right. You know what? I'm gonna give it a 7. I am playing it more to get the trophies, but it's not really a loving act. It's just an act of necessity for me more than anything. Like, I enjoy the game. I enjoy how in depth it is. I enjoy the different kind of combos, the different ways to fuck people over like insanely fast. I think all of that is really fun. But the optional dungeons post game, they're not really that fulfilling. Like, it's just kind of, you get a little bit of XP, you get some extra items, a little bit more story, and then that's kind of it. Playing the game start to finish again, I might do at some point, but honestly, I think I'm just going to finish up the trophies and then kind of be done with the game. Because there are other RPGs out there that I do think are better, and they do similar things in a better way. But that being said, I did jump back on right when I unlocked the final dungeon, or the final like zone, and then I went back and I did everybody's side quests, and I was into doing all of that and collecting all the items I needed. So I won't dock it too much, but I do think there are better games to replay that are very similar to this. So,
All right. What's your overall kind of thoughts, wrap up opinion?
For someone who hasn't played a JRPG, I think this is a really easy one to get into, and a really makes you more willing to try more JRPGs, I would say. So, a great introduction and a great way to try some of the older ones. See if you like those too.
yeah, I think it's fine. I think if you are big into RPGs, I think you can enjoy this one as well. Just kind of give it a quick playthrough. It's not a super long game, so it's not a massive commitment. And there's a lot of extra stuff to do, and there's a lot of fun to be had in the game. So I'd say if you see it on sale and you're an RPG guy, I would pick it up for sure. The $40 I spent on it felt kind of extreme.
57 for me.
Yeah, so I guess I can't bitch too much, but it was, if you do find a good deal on it.
Makes me laugh that it went on sale right after you bought it, Schweiss.
Yeah, it's great, and it's not available digitally, or it's not available physically on
There
PS4.
are no physical copies that were released in. They're released in the America region. I did buy an import copy for the Switch. It has Japanese art and English art.
Is there a PS4 physical copy, or was
I
it
don't
only
know.
for Switch?
I just
Doesn't
looked for the
exist.
Switch.
Okay.
Anyways, for the Switch, if you want a physical copy, I will be giving that to our giveaway. So,
Okay.
Sweet.
Sweet. All right. Well, the scores are as follows. For story, Caleb gave it a 7. Cameron gave it an 8. For gameplay, they both gave it 9s. Art and graphics, they both gave it 7s. Sound and music, Caleb gave it a 9. Cameron gave it a 10. Replayability, Caleb gave it a 7. Cameron gave it an 8, which I believe, although I don't trust my math right now because I can't fucking think this morning. Caleb is at 39 out of 50, and Cameron's at 42 out of 50. For a total of 81 out of 100.
Yeah,
as the
that's
Nude
right.
Clan official score.
So on Metacritic, it has a 74 out of 100 for PS4 and a 75 out of 100 for Switch.
Okay.
So the handheld gives it one more point.
a little higher. There you go.
I just felt like that was the place you should play it. Was on the Switch.
That's fair.
Well, once again, if you want to play it on the Switch, I guess it's part of our drawing now. So that's
There's
fun.
some codes that are in Japanese inside the game, and I did not use those. So if they are for anything, use them and let me know what those were for.
Yeah, hopefully it's like Setsuna porn or something.
It's probably for the Japanese Nintendo store.
Probably.
So
Yeah, but if
probably
it's...
won't be able to use it.
Maybe, who knows?
All right. Well, if you want a chance at getting that, you got to go to Patreon and support us there. That's
We're still waiting on a reward for Skull. What do you want to get, man?
click through nudeclan.net. Yeah, Skull Hottie, please respond to us. But yeah, nudeclan.net is where you find that. You can also join our forums there, ask us questions there. If you want to ask us questions on Twitter, the hashtag is hashtag nudeclanq.
Yeah, and guys, please do that. We're out of questions.
We're out of questions. Don't say that.
Refill our queue of questions, please.
Refill our queue using nudeclanq.
That's right. But Q as in the letter instead of Queue. UE.
You can tweet the show at Nude Clan Podcast. You can tweet me at Joseph DeGollier.
Me at Obsidian Ba.
Me at Nude Clan Cam.
Me at UFF Podcast.
And you can check out our other shows if you want. Ultimate Final Fantasy, Godzilla Podcast, Puff Puff Hour, Tale of Schweiss and Johnson.
Yeah. Song of Schweiss and Johnson.
Song of Schweiss and Johnson. And
For a Few Chickens More, Sans' Wedding Night, a Song of Schweiss and Johnson.
Our phone number, if you want to call in for Nude Clan After Dark. Sorry about the late release last week, guys. Nude Clan After Dark is 385-204-3921. Ask us any other questions you want. Ask for advice. We'll give you some terrible advice. But anyway, up until then, we will see you guys next time.
Enjoy the nude.
May the list go on.
Live always in the nude.
Fucking crazy.